So join a team that values your skills and celebrates your success.
Visit us online or in-store today and view our current job listings at bouchercareers.com.
The men and women of the Wisconsin Operating Engineers operate the heavy equipment that builds our roads, bridges, and schools. But did you know that they also build the wind and solar farms that supply clean energy to our homes and businesses? They install the broadband infrastructure that helps provide high-speed internet to every corner of Wisconsin. Build your career with the Wisconsin Operating Engineers. Visit join139.com to learn more. That's join139.com.
Service and savings. It's Woodman's.
Hi, we're the Woodmans. I'm Clint.
I'm Phil, saving you big time money on snacks.
10 to 15 ounce Craven pretzels, $1.69 a bag. Or 8 ounce Craven chips, just $1.99 a bag.
Hi, caramba, hot prices on snacks.
Pretzels $1.69 or chips $1.99.
Hey, these taste just like the national brands, but they're half the price.
Better products, better prices, better service because we're employee owned.
It's Woodman's.
No matter where you're headed, Citgo is a good place to start. Whether you're off to the ballpark, dog park, or amusement park, driving range or drive-in theater, Saturday morning soccer or Sunday brunch, Citgo top-tier Tri-Clean gasoline gets you where you're going and keeps your engine running cleaner and smoother along the way. Whether you're traveling near or far, when you start with Citgo, you're good to go.
Good to go.
Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee at the Avenue. Here is your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Well, I don't know what to do now because nothing happened in that game. Freddie pitched great. Not much else happened. The Brewers lose the series from the Marlins. They lose 1-0 in the finale as they head into an off day tomorrow in Boston. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Craig Kashan's going to join us in a little bit. Shorter show today because, quite frankly, nothing happened. I mean, my goodness. The Brewers only managed 4 hits, all of them singles. They had exactly 2 at-bats with a runner in scoring position. One of them was a strikeout, and then the other one could have been a caught stealing, so technically 1.5, I guess, there in the second. And then 1 as the final at-bat of the game. I've been saying, you've been listening all season, Jesus Luzardo is the hottest commodity at this year's trade deadline. And I simply tweeted just a moment ago, yesterday's price is not today's price, as Luzardo just turned in his career best start of his life, 8 shutout innings. He only had 4 strikeouts, and I'll dive into the numbers and what that all means for the Brewers and how it all looked today. But this has been the most common refrain that I've seen on social and I've seen on the text line. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. I agree with everything we've talked about. I called this on Sunday, saying, hey, you got to create your own energy. They're going to find a way to not start the lefties, with Terang being the most notable of them. Find a way to win games. I think the Brewers sometimes get a little stuck in the mud with their insistence on how their platoon is working. The insistence to not give Bryce Terang a single opportunity these last 3 days, or Jake Bauers a single opportunity, arguably the second hottest hitter on the team behind Joey Ortiz coming into this week. Sal Frelick did not even get into a game. Joey Weimer did, because of the way that they bat. I understand the numbers, and we can sit here and have a full-on CNN debate about why platoons work and why platoons don't work. And you got to be all in if you want the platoons to work. So you got to start Andrew Monasterio in the leadoff spot playing second base. But I am sorry, Andrew. You're a great dude. I am sorry to the Brewers. Bryce Terang has been a top 3 player on your team. He should be in there. Jake Bauers has been white hot. He should be in there until proven otherwise. If they went 0 for 4 with 4 punchies against lefties on Monday, we can revisit this conversation. Jake Bauers started the rally on Monday, had the bad luck double, against a lefty, mind you. Yelich, He gets the opportunity because he's obviously a veteran, 10-plus year in the show. He's the only true lefty in the lineup. Be consistent. Owen Miller, dude, you're a good player. I wish you well. Jake Bauers is better than you right now. Jake Bauers should get the start until proven otherwise. I don't want to sit here and say, like, yeah, no, this was the best lineup they could have rolled out there. I just don't see it that way. We don't see, the Brewers and I don't see eye to eye like that, and that's why I'm sitting here talking about it with you. I don't mind it. They have their reasons. They have very data-driven reasons of why they believe the lefties should be sitting against lefties. Now, Jesus Luzardo, quite frankly, today, it didn't matter if you were left-handed or right-handed. He was getting you out. He was nasty today. But what I see with this team, with this lineup, they got stuck in neutral. And guys that are dynamic players sitting on your bench, like Bryce Terang, and a guy with pop like Jake Bauers certainly would have helped. And obviously the elephant in the room is something that we haven't addressed yet, is the fact that Rhys Hoskins is hurt. And that certainly put a damper on all of this. Because if Rhys is in the order, that's a major middle-of-the-order right-handed thump against lefties. That's a massive thing to remember in all of this. But even with that, I still wanted to see Bryce more than we saw him this week. I'm just still really confused by all that. Maybe there's something we don't know about Bryce Terang as far as an injury or a concern or something of that nature. But we'll get to all of this coming up in the program. We're going to the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. I want to remind you, Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. With the local Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank also knows how to hit it out of the park. They've been serving businesses in the area for nearly 15 years, offering industry-specific expertise and local decision-making capabilities to help your business succeed. This is commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Member FDIC. I see all the texts. We'll get to those coming up next. Craig Kashan's going to join us shortly as well. 855-616-1620. 855-616-1620. Brewers fall 1-0 to the Marlins. They lose the series 2 out of 3, and now it's on the Boston on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Race fans, start your engines. It's time to make summer plans for fast family fun at Elkhart Lakes Road America. Experience 11 major races from vintage weekends to IndyCar. And new for 2024, Grid Life. Bring the entire family for affordable fun with on-site camping, free parking, and free admission for kids 16 and younger with the paying adult at the gate. See the full race schedule at roadamerica.com. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Not wearing your seatbelt could cost you a ticket or your life. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Catronio. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Brewers fall 1-0 as they are on to Boston. This one from Brian in Tosa. Great effort from Peralta. But you know what I'm going to say? Left-handed pitching is the Brewers' kryptonite. Sanchez did what he was supposed to do to be brought in here to get 2 of the 4 hits tonight. And the Brewers are really missing Hoskins. I agree with that entirely. And again, we agree on the Terang take, as you say in here. And a lot of talk in here about the Adames getting thrown out at third. Let me start with this as I welcome in Craig Kashan into the program. Craig, we were sitting watching the game together, and when Willie stole third and tried to, I also want to remind folks, it was a 1-2 count with 2 outs. Just try to make something happen. I understand it, like, the old adage of, never make an out at third, never make the first or the last out. No, just don't make an out at third base, period. That's how I see it. But at the same time, it's like you can talk to hitters, Craig, and they can tell you after one plate appearance, like, this dude's got the goods. We need to figure out something ASAP. And my sense is Willie was trying to make something happen. And when you're trying to make something happen, mistakes happen because he knew Jesus had the goods tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't have as big a problem with that as I would some guys stretching doubles into triples that have no business of doing it, and then you become the final out at third base, things like that. So I don't like to see it because I just feel like it's unnecessary at the time. But I also understand that this team has been struggling on the road here for a pretty good stretch, and Willie's been struggling on his own as well. And he got a single to lead off the second inning, and he wanted to stay out there and figure out a way to score for his team somehow. So I don't all the way blame somebody like that for an incident so early in the game. Those are the ones to me that obviously can't happen late in a close game, but I think early on there's nothing wrong, I don't think, with trying to be some kind of a spark plug.
And for me, it all comes back to who's at the plate, where you at in the order, okay? If it was William Contreras or Yelliup, Willie's not trying that with those two guys at the plate.
Right.
He's trying that because it's the bottom of the order, and it's very clear it's going to be a low-scoring game. This text coming in, one of the things I love about baseball is the unpredictability of the game, and no team is immune to a sweep or a series loss. And with that clarifier, is there any validity to the joke or theory now that the Brewers struggle against sub-500 teams, or are we being just pessimistic Wisconsin sports fans? I think it's the latter. It's the pessimistic Wisconsin sports fans because, if the team, like I talked about when the Twins were on their 13-game winning streak, Craig, that, they did it against the White Sox and the Angels, doesn't count. Like, well, wait a minute. If you go 7-6 against those teams, people are lighting up torches and pitchforks. So, in my opinion, it's the beauty of baseball. You got to play all 27 outs. I mean, quite frankly, the Brewers had the lead in each of the first two games, and they were one strike away from winning Game 1. And they obviously handled yesterday coming down to the wire, and today they couldn't get off the deck. So, in an argument, saying they played their absolute worst and were in all three games.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. They probably should have won Monday, and yesterday they did win, but they blew a lead and had to come back to win it. And then tonight was kind of up for grabs too. I mean, if someone hits a long ball, things change, and that's all Chisholm did. He just happened to be the first batter of the game there. So, yeah, you're going to have your ups and downs in the game of baseball. That's by design, though. That's why they play it every single day, because sometimes the teams that you call bad are going to win some games, and you're hitting this Miami team right now. They're kind of in a groove. I mean, if you look at what Luzardo's done his last two starts, over the last 10 games, they've won 7, and he's won 2 of those. So what are you supposed to do with a guy that's, almost in that premier pitcher league from where he sits right now? So I don't know. It's one of those things, Dom, you just got to, take a deep breath and say, you know what? I'm not getting my rear end kicked in. I'm not getting my teeth kicked in some of these losses, and, just get back on the horse and hope things change this weekend in Boston.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you bring up, Craig. The fact that they're in all of these games, and I know there's no moral victories in professional sports, but the fact of the matter is, a fluky, weird game on Monday night with the bloop that Churio maybe could have or could have not dove for. Even if he dove for it and didn't get it, it's the same result. And then not being able to score in the top of the 10th inning. And then yesterday, Yelich saving you, and today you could not muster up a run against one of the best left-handers in baseball. They're in these games. And as I'm looking at some of last year's schedule, and I'm looking at some of the results, similar points. So the Brewers are now 28 and 21 on the season. So that's 49 games into the season. Last year, they were 27 and 22. And they were just coming off of losing a series against Tampa Bay, losing a series against St. Louis. So they had lost a series in San Francisco. They got swept by the Rockies last year in May. So there's something going on with the vortex about the month of May for the Brewers lately. But, I mean, this is part of May baseball. You're figuring out who you are, and you're not 100% healthy right now.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too that I wanted to bring up. Just the fact that this offense was built by design, and this offense has barely been on the field together by the design it was put together. So I'm still waiting for that to happen. I'm still kind of amazed that they are where they are here right now, considering that the starting pitching injuries especially, and just knowing what's to come here. So, figure out a way to stay in these games. If you do that, you can figure out a way to win some of these games and stay afloat. I'm going to say that until I'm blue in the face, but that's okay, because I think this team is still going to be in it in the end. That's for sure.
I agree. We're going to take a breather, come back with more. Craig Kashan is with us right now. A few more texts have rolled in, too. 855-616-1620. Brewers fall 1-0 to the Marlins right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
We did the math. When you buy bagged mulch from the big guys, you pay $50 a yard. Why pay more for inferior mulch? When you buy from Erickson's, you'll get premium mulch for almost half the cost. And you'll see that even our economy mulch is better, for less than half the cost of bag mulch. And either choice is made with premium colorant that lasts longer. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Do you want the economy mulch or the premium? The only real difference is that the premium mulch has thicker strands, while the economy mulch is finer. But the colorant we use for both is of the highest quality, and that's why the color of our mulch lasts longer. And our mulch comes from trees, not pallets, and we process it all in-house. That's why our prices are so low. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. You can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts. This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Tom Catronio. Craig Kashan's with us for a little bit longer as well. Looking at what the Brewers put out for the lineup today, we talked about Monasterio, and before you had jumped on, Craig, I just kind of made my case for let's give Terang a shot. Let's give Bowers a shot. I mean, Weimer didn't even get a shot other than being a pinch runner today, and Churio is scuffling again. I mean, it's at the point where I understand the Brewers are set in their ways. You got to be all in if you're going to do the platoon, and they were all in this series, not even giving in a bat to Sal Frelick. So the way I see it is, what's the worst that can happen? You put Bryce Terang in, and he goes 0 for 3 against the lefty, and then they bring in a righty, and he gets a knock off of him? Like, what's the worst that could happen? I want to see Bryce Terang. The next time the Brewers see a left-handed starter, maybe it's Justin Steele, I want it to be Bryce Terang in the lineup.
Yeah, I agree. I think, when I saw the lineup here today, I was like, okay, so we're going to do this 3 straight days, for an offense that out of the 3 games, as it turned out, they only had 1 game where they got it together. And I think – I agree with you. I would like to see a little more mix-up, because here's the thing. Here's the one thing that I really have liked a lot about Murph and the guys that he consults when they put their lineup together. We've seen more of a variety from game to game since the beginning of the season in the batting order. So why were we so locked in for the last 3 games? Because the Brewers faced 3 straight left-handed starters. I just felt like they went against what has made them successful this year for this 3-game series, because on paper it looked a certain way. I agree. By the 3rd game, I think you got to mix it up and give some guys some opportunities, because here's my thing. Hey, I didn't play baseball at the level that we're all talking about here right now. But if I'm playing every day like Frelick and I'm playing every day like Terang, I'm thinking to myself, all right, you're not going to start me one single game during this 3-game stretch, don't knock my confidence. Don't send me, an unwritten message here, because I can do big things for this team, and you better count on me because I'm counting on you to believe in me. So there's kind of a two-way street here that they got to find a happy place to meet, in my opinion.
I agree. I think, and to be fair, like you talked about earlier, and we talked about with Reese not being here, and I'll say it again with you, they've played 14 games with the ideal lineup with William, Yelly, Adames, and Hoskins all in the lineup together. So we're still so early in this. It kind of feels like the Bucks in a way, right, where it's like they couldn't get Dame and Giannis on the same page early, and then you had the injury, then you got Chris Middleton hurt, and you got all. It just felt like you could never get it plugged in play, and then hopefully the Brewers obviously get it all put together here sooner as opposed to later. And also another reinforcement on the way is Garrett Mitchell, and that should help the offense. But again, he's another left-handed guy that we're going to be sitting here having this argument about again.
I know. I tell you right now, I'm chuckling because I have to cover the Bucks, and it's in no way even close to what they went through this year. And I know a lot of people are chuckling with me, but it's here's the thing. It does come back to what players are going to be able to perform, and if it's lefty on lefty, so be it. If all you're going to use Gary Sanchez for is 2 starts a week, one at the catcher and one at the DH, and it's going to be mostly to face left-handed pitching, so be it. I understand that, but I think with everyday guys, they have to be given kind of some freedom or whatever to have those opportunities to succeed. I mean, it's one or the other, man. Give me a chance to succeed.
I agree entirely. I want to get to the phone lines before we get to a break. George in Pewaukee. George, you're live here on Brewers Extra Innings.
Hi, Don. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I love the Brewers. I have for a long time. I was only 16 years old when the '82 Brewers made it to the World Series, so I've been a fan ever since. My comment about kind of the same thing. Bryce Terang, what I've liked about Murphy is he has played Bryce Terang so consistently this year, being in the lineup almost every day. And the statistic I heard was from 2 former Milwaukee Brewers from the '82 team. They both told me this in person. Major league hitters are at their best when they're in the lineup every day. Now, the statistic that's not counted is Bryce Terang has not been. He's had 2 at-bats in the last 3 games. How does that affect when he does face a right-handed pitcher? That if you're going to platoon a guy only against righties, maybe Terang would hit the righties better, bat 20 points higher if he was in the lineup every day, even though he might struggle more against lefties. He's hitting from the left side. He's the fastest guy on the team and probably one of the best second basemen in baseball. My belief, just as an average fan, that it almost seems like he should be in that lineup every day with a rest once in a while. But that's my comment.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for the call there, George. When it comes to, Terang in this platoon, I mean, Craig, I think the reason that a lot of people are frustrated with this is not only because of Bryce's great play clearly taking the quantum leap that they wanted him to take, but it's that there's not an obvious pick to replace him at second base, meaning, oh, well, hey, that guy's crushing left-handed pitching. You got to put him in there somehow. The Brewers don't have that kind of guy right now, which is why everyone's frustrated.
Yeah, no, really good point. And that kind of reminds me, too, occasionally we'll see, like, somebody like Bryce Terang getting pinch hit for, when Oliver Dunn was on the team, or Jackson Chourio was getting pinch hit for Oliver Dunn. It wasn't Bryce Terang, obviously, with the lefty. But those types of things, it's like, unless you're putting Gary Sanchez in or a veteran guy, even as a pinch hitter, I say let some of these young guys, figure it out and experience it. I mean, there's no greater thing in any field that we're talking about, whether it's baseball, any other sport, the things that you and I do in our sports broadcasting business. Repetition and getting those reps in is really, really important, in my opinion. I've always believed that. And certainly I also agree with the comment. If you talk to these guys that have played this game for a long, long time and aren't playing it anymore, I think they're a little perplexed when, guys get platooned for what they feel like might be no reason. They didn't get platoon. They played every day. That's when players are at their best. So it's just been an interesting call and interesting thing to watch here in this 3-game series, because it did sway kind of against where they've been up until now on the season.
I agree. I want to keep you for one more, Craig. We do got to end this on a positive note with you. I want to talk about Freddie coming up next, because today was a really important start for him.
Yep.
Want to remind you that Brewers Extra Innings also is brought to you by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Spring in Wisconsin means it's time for your AC tune-up. You can save $25 off AC preventative maintenance right now through the end of the month. So you're running out of time. You can schedule an appointment today at Cider, SEIDER.com. All right, one more quick segment with Craig. We're going to the top of the hour right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings. The biggest names in the basketball world.
Dame Dollar Lillard.
Having fun and honest conversations.
He puts it in the shoe, right? And sets the tone for brothers and sisters and family.
Every week, Thanasis Adetokounmpo sits down with special guests on Thanalysis Show. Presented by Carbless Ready-to-Drink Cocktails.
Fantastic.
Find Thanalysis Show on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And on YouTube by searching Thanalysis Show.
Grab tickets to any Brewers game now. Next up, it's a can't-miss homestand against the Cubs and the White Sox the week of May 27th through June 2nd. Open up a new chapter of the I-94 rivalry May 27th through the 30th as the Brewers take on the Cubs. Then join Happy Days theme night for a Bronze Fonz bobblehead at the game on Friday, May 31st. Get in on a big week of Brewers action now at brewers.com/tickets.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you in need of expert exterior renovations? Look no further than Ridgetop Exteriors. For over 22 years, we've been the trusted name in roofing, siding, windows, doors, and gutter replacements.
I couldn't be happier with the new roof Ridgetop Exteriors installed. It's like having a brand new home.
The team at Ridgetop Exteriors made upgrading my siding a breeze. Quality work and friendly service.
With a track record of excellence, we take pride in transforming houses into dream homes. Visit us today at ridgetopexteriors.com for a free consultation. Ridgetop Exteriors, your trusted local affordable partners.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
All right, this will be our last segment here with Craig Kashan. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. We got to talk about Freddie Peralta. Even though the Brewers lose 1-0 today was a massive leap forward. And I don't want to hear any comments about, it's the Marlins offense. This could have gone terribly wrong today for Freddie. When you are 5 pitches into the game and you give up a leadoff home run to Freddie Peralta or to Jazz Chisholm, and Freddie doesn't have any fastball command, and kudos to him because he retired the next 10 batters in a row and locked it back into gear and said, no more tonight, Craig.
Yeah, I really think that, that given up, first of all, just falling behind early, I was like, now we're at 3-0. This is how this one's going to start. Didn't expect the home run to happen, but it did. But I also saw the immediate recovery from Freddie and kind of take over a game instantly like we saw, in the first 4 or 5, maybe 6 starts of the season for him, where he looked pretty spectacular. He looked ace-like. He looked like he wanted to be in control of this starting rotation. And then he fell in a little bit of a slump. He got ejected from that game. He served his suspension. And I just thought maybe that took a little bit of a toll on him. And he's never experienced anything like that before in his career. So maybe it did take a bit of a toll. But he got back after it today, and he looked like a Corbin Burns-like person pitching on the mound today. Corbin gives up an occasional home run. Usually it's a solo one, and then he gets right back out there and just mows you down. And I think, Freddie's obviously got all of that in him, and we saw it again here today. It didn't take him long to get command of all of his pitches, and I thought, everything just worked really well for him.
One would assume that Freddie's next start will come against the Cubs, and just kind of mapping out the dates here, he would get that day, that Monday, if they go on the 5th day, because of the question marks in the rotation right now. If they stick him on his every 5th day rotation, he gets the start on Monday, Memorial Day, against the Cubs. If they use the off day to give him an extra day off, then they have it go on Tuesday against the Cubs. But the point is, his next environment is going to be a rocking environment. And to have this under his belt, to have the animosity of the Cubs-Brewers Council Return series maybe being his next start, I'm really happy that he got a normal one under his belts. This isn't a joke about how quiet it was at Lone Depot Park. It's more about the fact that Freddie was able to right the ship, so he knows what he needs to do in a normal environment to right the ship, and he's pitched plenty against the Cubs over the career. He had a bad one against the Cubs at Wrigley earlier. I know he'll have the adjustment, but that's going to be his next one, and they really need him to be an ace in that series.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when you mentioned the Cubs, because that was his first big hiccup of the season against them down at Wrigley Field. So this guy's a competitor. He's going to want to get out there, and I'm sure he's going to want to beat his old manager. I mean, let's get that under his belt as well. Beat the Cubs. We all are seeing how this division has already shaped up with Milwaukee and Chicago, 1-2 for much of, the first 2 months of the season. But bottom line, they're in it because of how Freddie's been pitching, and for him to be able to rebound tonight and build a little bit more confidence. Every start's a little bit different. We all understand that, and every start's in a different environment. But man, oh man, next week is going to be crazy, and you want a guy who's been through it before that wants to prove something to be out there on the mound, and I think we've got that in Freddie.
Yeah, I would hope it would be Freddie, because otherwise it would be Tobias Myers, and that's not a knock on Tobias, but that's going to be the craziest environment at home of any game this year. And I think Freddie would be the guy that's ready to handle what that game is going to mean for the Brewers. Craig Kashan, thank you as always for your analysis and for your insight. We'll talk to you from Fenway on Saturday. I can't wait to be there and enjoying some more baseball with you.
All right, sounds great. Fenway's awesome. We're looking forward to that series, Dom.
All right, Craig Kashan here on WTMJ. Take a breather, come back here from Pat Murphy after this on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Is your business looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been looking forward to the future and helping businesses shape what's next for 165 years, and for the last 15 here in Milwaukee. They offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making capabilities, and extensive experience to help navigate the complexities of a constantly changing business market environment. With your business in mind, commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. With spring here and the warmer temps in the air, this is a great time to be doing all the fun outdoor stuff, right? Like the hiking, the biking, maybe going to the lake. But if your joints are flaring up, you may be having second thoughts maybe about hitting those 18 holes. Well, if you're tired of the achy joints, here's what you do. You call QC Kinetics. Do it before you agree to surgery or steroids or any other medication. It's what tens of thousands of patients are doing. Take Abby, for instance. Constant back pain. She had nonstop ice packs, steroids. It was exhausting for her, but thanks to QC QC Kinetics, Abby feels like a new person. No back pain thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics. I'd love to be talking about your story next, your lasting relief with no downtime. Call QC Kinetics. Consultation is free. Hear about it now. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost, free tire repair, and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements is we put them on for you. Buy one or a whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin, Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
All right, I've ranted enough. Craig Sean also did as well. Thanks for joining us. 855-616-1620. A couple of texts, all really feeling the same. Appreciate everyone reaching out. This one from the 262. Watch out for the Cards. They're sneaking up. Yep, they just swept the Orioles this week, but it is May. We don't care about the standings in May. This one from Jeff. This one asking, why are AAA platoon players Miller, Weimer, and Monasterio when we have some hot hitters like Bowers and Terang? Part of the first segment. I agree entirely. Then this one, how did the young guys like Terang and Frelick have to get so frustrated not playing against lefties? How will they ever get better if they don't get the chance to hit against lefties? Maybe that'll change one day. It is only May, but I think this was kind of a wake-up call to maybe to rethink something. You've heard from us. Let's hear from Pat Murphy after today's 1-0 loss to the Marlins.
I mean, Freddie was magnificent, you know, you give up one run in 8 innings or 8 innings of pitching, you plan on winning the game. So their kid deserves a lot of credit, man. That kid was great. He was great. We didn't get on him at all. He was all over us all night, ahead in the count, and pitched great. Sanchez swinged the bat great, and but other than that, we couldn't really get anything going.
We had counted, I think, 15 pop-outs or fly-outs tonight for you guys. What was Luzardo throwing that was
really good stuff?
Yeah.
Really good stuff. You know, he lives off his fastball. I mean, his fastball's it's a sneaky 95, 96, you know, and plays up, and he pitches at the top of the zone. That's how he gets those pop-ups. His changeup was very good to keep us off it, and his breaking ball was good. So he was lights out. He beats a lot of teams tonight.
Do you think Freddie got back to just being himself? Kind of, we talked about the mix before the game, and
I thought it's fastball Freddie. You know, like it all plays off the fastball. He has to establish that, and you know, he can't throw 5, 6 in a row and throw one down the middle, but he can use his fastball effectively and know how to locate it in the top half of the zone. It's really tough to hit, and then everything else works off of that. But he was magnificent. Yeah.
How important is that to get Freddie back to being that guy now?
Yeah, I'd say that was. I think that's crucial. You know, that's something we got to have if we're going to continue competing like we did tonight. We competed. We're right there, and I can't be mad at these guys. That kid pitched great. He had great stuff. He's a capable pitcher. That's why he's got the reputation he does, and he pitched great. So give him the credit. And their closer came in and did the job, and I don't think too many other guys beat us tonight, but that kid beat us.
Well, Zardo had retired 17 straight. I mean, when a pitcher's rolling like that, how hard is that to apply the pressure you want?
Oh, yes. I mean, it's really tough. It's tough. You get somebody on base, maybe we can get something going. Churio stealing that base gave us something, you know. But, you know, we couldn't come up with a big hit at the big time. But, again, credit their guy. He was really, really good. I'm not going to be disappointed in our guys if a great pitching beats good hitting. That's just the way it is. And that kid was great tonight. And let's give him the credit. And we competed, and we did what we had to do to hang in there. Every team in Major League Baseball can beat every team in Major League Baseball. We've learned that over time. And doesn't matter what their record is. With that kid on the mound tonight, they did what they had to do.
How well did Gasser yesterday and then Freddie today set you up for the rest of the road trip?
Well, I mean, from a standpoint of saving our bullpen, yeah. I mean, obviously that's important, but we got an off day tomorrow, so either way, we would have been okay. These guys are resilient and they jump back in there, but I'm glad we didn't have to use anybody in the last 2 days, really, to any great extent. So we should be ready to go on the weekend.
Yeah, ready to go for the Red Sox with the full leverage bullpen after an off day. We'll talk about that series and wrap up the program because, well, honestly, there were no highlights from this game. Brewers fall 1-0. They lose the series to the Marlins. We'll also take a look around the league after this on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
So if you're already in a relationship with an auto service center, that's great. We hope things keep firing on all cylinders.
But if you're not in a relationship, why not book your next date with us at Richlands the next time you're due for service?
All of our locations are AAA approved and staffed by ASC certified technicians with PhDs in
We can fix anything! Put that on top of the friendliest, hardest working staff you'll ever meet inside a tire and service center.
and you've got yourself a rock-solid date.
The next time you're due for factory scheduled maintenance,
Or tires, brakes, and suspension service.
book your date at richlawns.com.
Or just Google us. But remember, Richlands is spelled with 2 N's.
And oh yeah, be safe, buckle up, and hey.
Always make sure you have good tread on your tires. I'm Courtney Matchkey with Richlands, and you're due for a date.
Clever.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
We find the best way to protect and uphold the reputation of our business is to hire good people and then take care of them. We really do love the people that work for us and we care about what's in their best interest. And what that means to you is this. Who do you really want on your job? Someone who's maybe underpaid or doesn't feel appreciated? Might not have paid vacations or great work benefits? Our folks have all of these things and more. Vito and I make sure they feel appreciated because happy people do happy work. There's a culture we're building here at Semper Fi that brings respect back to a very hard job. And that's why we know that our crews are going to do the kind of work that you expect. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, Cider.com.
St. Vincent de Paul at 76th and Bradley Road is having our grand opening celebration this Father's Day weekend, June 13th through the 15th. Doors open at 9 a.m. and everything's on sale, 20% off. There'll be some great food trucks, cool giveaways, and it's a great chance for thrifters to see a whole new store's worth of inventory and bargains. 76th and Bradley in Milwaukee. Don't miss our grand opening sale, June 13th through the 15th.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
All right, last couple minutes here. Here is the schedule for the weekend against the Red Sox. Bryce Wilson will start on Friday. That game is scheduled for a 6:10 first pitch. That means our on-deck show begins at 5:35. Then on Saturday, early game, 3:10 Central Time. I've got you covered at 2 o'clock with Brewers warm-up. And then on Sunday, we are at 12:35. That means the on-deck show begins at noon, and no Brewers warm-up that day for me. If you're one of the folks that syncs up your television to the radio call, we are on Apple on Friday and then Bally on Saturday and Sunday. As for the pitching matchups, Bryce Wilson versus Cutter Crawford. Cutter Crawford's been one of the surprises of the season for the Red Sox, one of their homegrown stars. He's 2-2, a 2.17 ERA. Billy, Bryce Wilson, is 2-1, a 2.79 ERA. Saturday, it's Colin Ray, 3-2, a 4.07, against Nick Pivetta. He's 2-2, a 3.04. And then finally, it is TBA on Sunday. That's likely going to be Robert Gasser. That would be on his 5th day. It could be Tobias Myers, given he only threw 1 inning yesterday, and it was originally his day to start in Nashville. And then you would have to decide, okay, do you want it to be Gasser on Monday against the Cubs, or do you want to give him an extra day and have Freddie start that game on his 5th day? So that's why TBA is on Sunday. But it seems like Tobias Myers is here to be a starter. I imagine another move might be made for the bullpen with Bradley Blaylock not getting into a single game. Don't know if they really going to need him after the off day, so I imagine he will get optioned back to AA Biloxi and continue his development. We'll keep an eye on Jacob Junis returning soon, keep an eye on DL Hall returning soon, keep an eye on J.B. Bukowskis starting to play catch soon. Also, Garrett Mitchell is expected to hit off of a tee this week at Fenway. So that's all very, very good news for the Brewers and in their return to health. Rhys Hoskins has also been running, by the way, as well, so we might see him back. I know he unofficially has the goal of being available in 2 weeks' time against the Phillies. If he's already running, that's certainly a good sign. He wants to be able to play against his team that originally drafted him in 2 weeks' time. So he's certainly looking forward to that. And if you're a standings watcher in May, we always joke, like, hey, man, I don't look at the standings until July. Let's make you feel a little bit better. The Cubs lost today. Max Fried, complete game. He pitched very well as the Braves beat up on the Cubs by a 9-2 final. The Reds lost again. They're now 20-29. We mentioned the Cardinals winning earlier. They're now 23-26. They have won 8 of their last 10. And Pittsburgh is now getting shellacked by the Giants in extra innings. Pittsburgh is in danger of falling to 23-27. The Brewers are off tomorrow, and I will be live at Fenway Park for the weekend. I cannot wait to be there. If you're there, say hello. I love America's most beloved ballpark. My thanks to our producer, Max Meyerson, and to our guest host, Craig Kashan. I'm Dom Catronio. Until next time, keep on swinging.
For the latest on Capitol Hill, tune in to CBS's Chief Washington Correspondent, Major Garrett.